Hello everyone, my name is AngrySire960 and welcome to my first ever review on WWE 2K22. Today we are going to talk about the pros and cons of WWE 2K22 and what I believe is the best game compared to WWE 2K20 and 2K19. We're going to split this video up into 5 parts. The first being gameplay, second being creation suites, third being my rise, fourth being universe and my GM mode, and fifth will be whatever other details I've missed or anything about the game that I have not talked about yet. So without further ado, let's begin. Let's first start off with the gameplay in WWE 2K22. Now the gameplay in WWE 2K22 is great, it's fun, and it's half the reason I come back for more and keep playing the game. The gameplay allows for a lot more combos, which I also appreciate because I play a lot of fighting games. The arcade feel of the game is also really good. For example, pressing A on the controller like this, or pressing the right button at the right time to escape the submission. These are components I really do enjoy. The gameplay makes it feel smooth with its arcadey style. However, there are some problems that I'd like to talk about, and these consist of missing gameplay mechanics and some controls you don't really need. For example, I don't need 3 buttons for blocking and defending, alright? For defending, I only need 2. I only need a dodge and a reversal. That's it. I don't need a block. And I feel like that one button could have been used for something else, you know? If they had have just used 2 dodging and blocking mechanics, then it would be fine. We don't need 3. In previous games, they also had what was known as chain wrestling. And in my opinion, this made the match capable of being paced to your liking. And it helps simulate professional wrestling. If they were to add chain wrestling back into 2K23, that would assist in making the matches feel good, making them feel great. Another missing gameplay mechanic I've seen is OMG moments. There's no longer OMG moments, they're just not there anymore. They used to have them in 2K20 and 2K19, but they're missing from the game at this point. I mean, you can do ring breaks, you can break through the cell wall, and you can break the announcer desk. And the thing is, OMG moments would be this cool cutscene you'd get when you had a finisher stored and you had placed the opponent in the right position to do a cool move. For example, you might put them against the cage in a steel cage match, and you use your OMG moment to escape the cage. You break through the cage, and it was kind of cool, you know? You get a cutscene, and it looks all cinematic like it would in an actual wrestling show. And the thing is, whilst I like the ring break and Hell in a Cell break, I don't feel like it has the same impact because it doesn't have that OMG moment feel to me. Hell in a Cell does in a way, but I feel like if they had that for ring break, it would make that feel more impactful, or for the announcer table, make it feel more impactful. Because at the moment, it's just hard to get a ring break, and then when you do it, it's just put them in the corner when they're highlighted red, and then press B or circle if you're on controller, and boom. When they're on the top rope, it'll do it, and then bum. But there's no cutscene, and highlight reel doesn't even save it, so it's like, what the hell? Anyway, if they added OMG moments back into the game, it would help make the game feel much more impactful as well with your moves, and add to creating cool cutscenes if you wanted to. Another issue is with tables and ladders in 2K22, and this issue is mainly to do with what used to happen more commonly, but I think they fixed it partially. But I haven't been into a ladder match as of yet. But when I used to go into ladder matches, you'd set up a ladder and then the AI would either run into the ladder and knock it over somehow because it was flimsy like paper, and then it would just fly everywhere. And you're like, oh, I have to go pick it up now, and it would just be annoying. Or you'd throw the AI into the ladder and it would knock the ladder over. It's the same with the tables as well, and you'd have this whole cool spot or epic moment you wanted to set up where you take the opponent from the top of the ladder through the table, and you got it all set up in your brain ready to do some cool moves, and then the AI or someone just runs straight to the ladder and knocks it over, and now you have to set it up again, and now that AI is going to become even more painful because it's going to come back and stop you from setting up because you just set up previously with so much problems. You lose the match or something because you're just thinking about that when you're trying to create an epic moment. And it just makes it really hard to do that sometimes. If they fix that issue with the gameplay, it will, for me, be more fun. It will add to the hype of the match, and so forth. Also, another quick idea I just came up with on the spot is to give the announcers more voice lines. Like, give them more lines. Because it always feels like it's the same line for every move. And I get it, there's lots of moves you have to create for every move. But if you could add more, it doesn't have to be about the moves all the time, but just have them talking about something that's different almost all the time, right? Like at least 3 matches worth of dialogue for only 2 characters, you know? I feel like that would help. Like, for example, if it was John Cena and your custom superstar, they would just be rambling about it, but they'd have enough to talk about over 3 rounds with just those 2 characters only. And I feel like that would just make it feel like the announcers are actually reacting. Other than that, the gameplay is fun, and I'd like to see where it goes in 2K23 once they add those OMG moments and once they add the chain wrestling back in. The second biggest strong point of WWE 2K22 is its creation suites. For example, its character creator, its moveset creator, creating entrances, which you proceed to create more wrestlers because the customization is so good in the game, to then creating your own arenas and championship belts. And I feel like this really makes it enjoyable to me. It's one of the most enjoyable parts of the game, in fact. The character creator though is one of my favourite out of the creation suites. With so many clothing options and hair items and face items, body tattoo and paint options, that it's all up to the creator's imagination to create whatever character you're thinking of. You can create so many characters, even ones from popular things you've seen like movies and games. It's so easy to create those characters in WWE 2K22, and in my opinion, it's definitely a selling point. Being able to colorize every part of everything in the character creator is also a plus. However, it doesn't come without its issues, and here are some that I have. You can't edit bodies anymore in 2K22. You can't edit the body types. You can edit the height of it, that's about it. You have templated bodies, which you can pick from, which you can choose, right? But you can't manually change each individual part of the body. You can change the face of the character. I want that, but for the body as well. At the moment, you can't edit the body, and it's kind of annoying because you want to be able to make a big chest, little legs, and sort of big biceps. Something silly like that. That fits with your character, and it's annoying when you can't do that because it takes the creativity away. Some more clothing options in 2K23 would also be good. For example, hats, masks, and accessories. And some accessories, hats, and glasses that aren't only used for entrances. Because I'm so sick of wanting a cape and wanting to wear it in the ring. And it's probably something to do with the game or the engine or whatever, but I really want to have the option to have a cape in the ring or a really tall hat, but I can only have such a small top hat, you know? As for the Moveset Creator, I like that they keep adding moves to it every year, and I hope they add more every year, you know? Just keep adding to it and it'll be good because every character will be able to have different moves, a different variety of moves. I do want to see more strike attacks. Entrances are a bit of a letdown this year though. There's no longer advanced entrances, there's only basic entrances, but with basic entrances I can still convey what my character is and what he's like. It sucks because you can't add your own lighting, you can't add your own pyros, mixing with the colors. There's lots of options to choose from that are templated entrances, which you just change slightly with sounds basically and music, which I feel like they need to add more music because there's only so much music in the game. I have a lot of creative superstars that I'm trying to put into one arena, and it's so hard to find a different song for each character. You might have 4 evil characters, right? But there's only so much creepy music you can have, right? So you just end up copying one of the other superstars' songs, and it doesn't become their song, it just becomes both of their songs. I've recently been enjoying creating an arena and create a championship. I've been creating my own arena and putting my own custom superstars into it and giving them the championship belt matches with my custom ones. And it's been pretty good, you know, and I really enjoy it, and it gives me more creative freedom, you know. I don't have any criticisms for it other than just keep adding more stuff to it. Again, that's just something in general for most of this list, is just to keep adding to it. Highlight reels in 2K22 aren't the best really, because I feel like they don't capture the right moments you want to capture. Sometimes they capture the right stuff, sometimes they don't. So for example, you'll do a submission or a signature move and it won't capture it at all. It will capture your finisher obviously, but it won't capture the signature or the submission or a cool move you did or ring breaking. It'll sometimes just capture you walking around and then doing one punch, right? Because you were trying, as the player, were trying to figure out what the button is to press this thing, to do this one thing you wanted to do. It captured what I didn't want. It's just me walking around not knowing what I'm doing and punching randomly. And I feel like if they captured the spots or the cool moments of going through the table instead of capturing the same old kick, you know, then that would be better, because then I'd use that for my videos for people's entrances and things like that. Either than that, the creation suite is good, right? It just needs to be added to. And make sure you bring advanced entrances back to 2K23 please, that would be greatly appreciated. The My Rise this year is good, but not great in my opinion. I played My Rise up until I received the title and the championship belt. I liked it being able to change between face and heel, and then being able to later on down the line switch which role I was. And that was really cool. That was a cool aspect of My Rise this year. However, I stopped playing after that point, and it would start trying to persuade me to move brands when I wanted to stay on SmackDown and continue my reign as a SmackDown champion, and it only gave me so much to do, and then it would give me side quests and force me to switch which role I was going to go for later down the line, because there was no side quests left for the other role. And so it was trying to get you to go to the other brand or lose your championship so you get more story, you know. It stopped giving you story after a period of time after you got your championship belt. For example, after 4 to 5 rivalries, I had won the championship belt, and it would just be better if the amount of rivalries you had was more and it was a part of the story. Like, if it would force me not to have the belt straight away and force me to work up to it, like go through Royal Rumble, through all the pay-per-views all the way up, then there'd be more rivalries in between that, and it would feel like it's a longer game in that brand. I guess you want to move, that's the whole point, you're supposed to move. But staying in that area for a little longer would be great, in my opinion. Other than that, it was a good My Rise, and it has stuff it could improve upon. Universe mode and my GM mode were in this year's WWE 2K22, where I love GM mode, but I didn't really like Universe mode this year. Mostly because it was a bit of a downgrade from last year, and it didn't have promos, and just had the same reusable cutscenes from last year. It didn't feel like it had anything that really added to it at all, and it just felt like a downgraded universe mode. And I was hoping there'd be more to it, more cutscenes. And I mean, without any promos, how can you create a good show? I feel like universe mode should have aspects of my GM mode added into it as well, and that would just help fill it out a bit more. As well as provide cutscenes, and adding those promos back into the game will just help add to the realism of it and help add to the game. My GM, however, is one of my favourite things added to this year's game, even though it lacks some elements from previous games. It was one of the reasons I insisted on getting this game, and it was to try out this year's GM mode. And I would say it definitely served its purpose for what it was trying to do, mostly. And I enjoyed it with the ability to manage a show rather than become the creator of it. For example, draft picking was fun. Being able to create a pool of characters and pick which characters you wanted, and being able to play 2-player locally, that was good. I feel like there should be online my GM mode as well, but being able to do it co-op is good, because you could be like, I'm gonna pick this guy, and that person's gonna be like, I wanna pick this guy. And also you could add your own custom superstars to the draft pool, and that was another cool aspect of it as well. So you could pick which custom superstar you wanted through the draft pool when it came up, and you'd see the AI pick the one you wanted, and me and my friends would laugh, and I'd pick Kermit the Frog or something for mine versus actual superstars, and you'd just laugh at the end result. I'm always happy in the draft stages because I'm always thinking about which characters should go the best together with my roster, and have the popularity and roles integrated into it also allows it to feel great as well, because you're supposed to think about which ones are going to be the bad guys and which ones are going to be the good guys, and how you're going to put them together, and whether the audience is going to like those matches. And so thinking about it is good, and also saving your money. You don't want to spend it on all the top superstars, or you won't have any more later down the line. Like, what if you wanted a tag team and a bunch of singles, you know? Saving your money, or you can just use it all up in one go and see how it goes. Another example of GM mode that I really liked was setting up a match card and creating the title matchups, and then creating tag team matches, and then being able to buy and expand upon your show and get more audiences and more popularity and more money. Me and my friends also like the funny comments from Kermit saying, "Try repeating those words to me next week, T-Bar, if you have the guts." Always makes me laugh. However, my GM mode does have some problems that I would like to talk about. They have normal matches, table matches, TLC matches, Hell in a Cell matches. However, there is no Elimination Chamber and no Royal Rumble matches. They also only have 1v1s and 2v2s. They don't have triple threats or fatal 4-ways or handicap matches. GM mode also has its weird system in 2K22 with the use of classes, which I don't like having. Roles is fine in my opinion, because you can choose who's going to be the good guy and who's going to be the bad guy and put them together. However, classes can't be changed, whereas you can change the roles. You can change who's going to be the good guy and who's going to be the bad guy, but you can't change classes. So when you want to put a specific class against a class that doesn't match, it doesn't work, and the audience will boo it almost immediately. Even though these are two popular superstars and they're really good to be put together, they don't work because it's not the right classes. But if you have the right classes, your match will do well. So for example, they have Giant and Cruiser classes. They work together well and you'll get a good rating. But if you, for example, put a Giant against a Bruiser, which is another class, no, it won't work. It'll cancel it out and it won't look good for the ratings, and your show will do bad. And that became annoying for creating good match cards and creating rivalries. It was also way too easy to get a 5-star match if you did all the things that were popular. For example, if you made a title match, you made it a Hell in a Cell match, you put the classes together, you put the roles the right way, and making it a title matchup with popular superstars, and boom, immediately you'll get 4 to 5 stars if you're lucky, because apparently all fans just like to see Hell in a Cell matches and title matches. So it just becomes annoying because you can't do a normal match and get that high up. You might get a 3.5 star if you're lucky with normal matches and popular superstars. I would also like to see trades as well and add some things from the previous games, but that's something minor. Other than that, I like GM mode, just needs more added to it. Anyway, some more things I'd like to add to this video about the game that I've missed out is giving us more game modes. Give us Inferno matches, it's about time. Give us Buried Alive matches, give us guest referee matches, give us 5v5 matches so we can create an elimination style match like that. I would also like to see Create a Story and Create a Finisher return, because they were always fun in WWE Raw vs SmackDown 2011, which I have the game right here as a matter of fact. I also believe that Showcase mode was good, but I don't think it's necessary. I would much rather prefer to see more match types and more things added to Universe and My GM mode than having a 2K Showcase mode, because you can just go watch that on TV. They're basically just a recreation of what actually happened. But yeah, more customization options, Universe mode, more options for that would be great in place of that, I reckon. I don't reckon, in my opinion, you should spend $90 on the game. I reckon you should wait for it to climb down a little bit. I reckon you should probably spend about 60 to 70 in maximum for this game. I would say 2K22 is better than 2K20 and is more fun than 2K19. However, 2K19 does have more options and more things to do than 2K22 does. For instance, 2K19 has a pretty good normalized universe mode compared to 2K22, where they don't have promos or any extra cutscenes. In terms of what can be done in 2K19 with universe mode is much superior than what can be done with WWE 2K22's My Universe mode. 2K19 also has OMG moments and chain wrestling as well, and I feel like the gameplay is good, but not as fun as 2K22, but I do like the chain wrestling and OMG moments of 2K19. This game, for me specifically, is 7.9 out of 10, I would say, because it's almost up to an 8, but it's just got some things I feel like needs to be added to it. You know, more stuff. However, the gameplay, my GM, and customization keeps me coming back for more, and allows me to enjoy the game for long periods of time. Anyways guys, that's my review for WWE 2K22. I know you have probably heard a lot of people review this game before and closer towards the game's release. However, I decided 200 plus hours on the game is enough to give my own personal thoughts and feelings of the game after experiencing it for a long period of time and using its capabilities. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you like and subscribe and hit the notification bell down below, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye /.